Hey everyone, how's it going? I just want to make a quick Depression 101. I know I haven't made one in a while. This one's not going to be like super long and me telling a bunch of stories, but I just want to say hey, ask how everyone's doing. I know a lot of people are going through a hard time right now. I have quite a few friends who are pretty depressed right now. And my depression's acting up, but I'm not necessarily depressed. It just is affecting because the moon and the time of year and the season changing and all of that. So those are great things to keep in mind if you're feeling a little down, a lot down, or just things seem a little weird. It's kind of a problem being this weird, but it's great. So a few things. First off, talk to people, even if you don't think you need to. Take time for your own problems. I don't really have that many going on. I mean, there's still a lot on my mind, stress, just anything like work, money, like all these adult problems are always stressful. But anyway, so I've just been I don't really think of that because it's not like a big deal all the time. It's not a big deal all the time kind of thing, but anyways, I finally got to talk to my mom the other day, and I just talked her ear off for probably like an hour and a half of me just blabbing about everything, about some stuff about my friends and how I wish I could help better. I've been feeling kind of helpless, but I'm still there for everyone. But that's going to be another note that I go into here in a little bit. I don't want to get into too much story. I don't want to make this too long. I just want to give like a few like maybe helpful tips here, and I'm gonna sound like an old grandma a little bit because I've been feeling like that with my advice lately, but I mean, it's true, and when you're younger or when you're depressed you don't want to hear it, but it's stuff that like kind of helps. So one thing I've been telling multiple people this week, also anyone who you think I'm talking about you in this, I might be, but like don't be offended because I'm taking notes and a lot of people are going through the same thing. That's why I'm making this, because this is something I've told at least 3 or 4 people this week, so I think it would be helpful to put out there. And I'm not putting anyone's business out there, I'm just giving tips and advice that I think would be great. Anyway, so the first thing is like, this really sound like a grandma, is your advice that you give your friends, you need to listen to yourself. It's so much easier to see your friends' good qualities and the positive in their life, especially when they're down, and you want to tell them, you want to cheer them up. So you're like, but you have this, this, and this, and you do this, and you're awesome at that. So do that to yourself, even when you're like really upset. I have a cold too, so I'm about to sniffle. Even when you're really upset, you stupidly have to look at the positive. There has to be something. Even if it's the littlest thing like, hey, I woke up this morning. Hey, I brushed my teeth feel nice. But there's also bigger things like, look at your job. Is that your positive? Do you have a pet? Is that anything could be your positive? But you really got to look at it as if you were your own friend. That's something that people say all the time, and no one really understands it. But I mean, and I don't think of myself as my friend, but when I'm upset, I'm like, okay, well, what did I tell this friend? Okay, they're sad, so I'm telling them this. And then a lot of the times I'm just trying to relate to someone, even if I'm not sad. I'm just like, okay, but I do feel this way a lot of the time. So this, and then they end up talking me up. So that's just like the cycle of friends. And even if you don't feel like you have a friend, like just talking to yourself. I wrote notes down the other day. I finally got to also relax in the bathtub. And that's when I like have my alone time with my thoughts. And I only take a bath like once every couple weeks at my parents' house, because I don't have one where I live, which is fine because that makes me enjoy it a little bit more. So this is getting a little lengthy, but yeah, just take your own advice, all of that. Another thing, it's really hard when you're depressed. I get it, and I'm not saying I'm mad at anyone for this. Again, this is just like throwing things out there to help people. Also, sorry for like this lens flare or dust on the lens. I've cleaned it, but I'll have to clean it again. So when you're reaching out to friends, that's strong. That's a very strong quality. You need help, you're really depressed, you're reaching out, you're telling someone, your friends, your family, even a stranger. There's hotlines you can call, just if you're talking to people, but this is more for family and friends than a hotline. But so I know it's people's depression, but people ask, like, tell me that no one cares about them, and then I pour my heart out telling them I care, and then I really don't get much back. And I'm not saying it because I don't need that reassurance. I know these people care, otherwise they wouldn't be talking to me. They wouldn't have been there for me when I'm upset, and everyone has their own little way. But when I just sometimes when my friends message me and they're upset, I have a little breakdown because I'm so upset. I don't know how to help. I wish I could be there. Sometimes I can't. But I pour my heart out and make sure that someone does care about you. And then I get nothing back. It might be why other people aren't there for you. I don't know. This isn't about one specific person or anything, so don't take offense again. And I know it's the depression and stuff, but when people are pouring their heart out to you, even if you don't believe them, they're taking their time to say that. Some people might just be writing it out. But let me tell you, if I'm taking 45 minutes out of my day to sit here and make sure I word everything perfectly and tell you how much I care about you, I do. I really do. And so I'm holding this in my hand, so it's tricky. I don't know. It just makes me feel depressed because I feel like everything I say and do doesn't matter. And I know I've made friends feel that way in the past. So it's just a cycle. It's something to try to be aware of. It doesn't mean you're a bad friend. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It's hard to see. Like I said, I've been there. Now I'm realizing things. Anyways, but just if your friends are telling you they care about you and love you, don't just continuously keep saying no one cares, no one cares. Even if you add no one cares but you, that's still kind of putting me down. I'm not enough. One person isn't enough. And it might not be, but it should be. One person is better than none. And even when you think you have no one, there's someone. Feel better in just talking and communicating. And this, I'm taking way too long because I have to leave for work in a couple minutes. But just think of yourself as your own friend. Treat others how you want to be treated, which is stupid. That's the basics, but do it. Talk yourself up like you do other people. When someone's there for you, be there for them. Even if they're not sad at the time, just make sure you thank them for being there. You don't have to necessarily think. I'm not saying I want that, but I'm saying to keep friendships strong. You don't want your depression to rub off on someone else and then them not be able to be there, or the next time them kind of being hesitant to being there for you. Friends are there for each other. Families are there for each other. That's what everyone's here for. Strangers can be there for you. Leave a comment here if you need someone. Maybe I'll help. Maybe someone else will see the comment. Just you got to keep it going. You got to help yourself. You got to help others. That's the whole point of this. This conversation went way differently than I want. It's more of a raw thing, so I probably won't chop it up too much. But this is a Depression 101, I guess, and we're all learning together. So if you have any suggestions for anyone going through those things, but please appreciate your friends and family that you do have. If you're depressed, reach out to them, even if you don't think you can. Reach out, but when they reach out, don't make them feel irrelevant. Make them feel like you reached out for them for a reason to help you, but don't try to make them feel lesser than you're feeling, because they're trying to help you. So try to be on the same page as each other. I don't know. It's all complicated and hard, and there's no exact rules. I don't have a 1, 2, 3 simple answers, but you just communication. And going back to the very first 101, that if you haven't seen is fine. The thing about depression, anxiety, all this life is it's confusing, not just for people who don't have it, it's confusing for people who have it. I'm even confused. I'm rambling. I understand it a little bit better than other people, but there's other people who understand it more than me. So I'm not saying I'm like a genius. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I don't really go to one. I should start, but I talk myself through a lot. I have people who I talk to, and when I can't talk to anyone, I write it in a note or I record myself talking. So there's something, please know you're all special. Somebody loves you. Even if you haven't met them yet, there's someone out there. Don't get so depressed. You don't need a boyfriend, girlfriend to be happy. It might help. Get a pet, go visit animals, have your friends, relationships, be your own friend, which is silly to say, but it's the truth. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I really got to get going, but I just wanted to give a few tips, and it's a little bit more rambly than I thought, but hopefully it helps some of you guys. And yeah, go follow me on 412Tunes. I have a new video coming out for that. Lots of new stuff in the works that is exciting and happy and not just blah 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 depression, but this stuff is very important, so I want to talk about it when I can. Again, I'm doing pretty well. There's a lot of things I want to work towards, but I would not say I'm in a bad spot right now mentally, actually at all. I mean, there's a lot of things. I'm not living my best adult life that I can, but I'm working on it, so that's all I can do. Yeah, so thank you to my friends, my family, my boyfriend, my puppies, and all of you guys who watch these and communicate with me. So yeah, I'm gonna go, and I'll see you guys soon on my next video. Bye!